But Deadpool, I mean,
One second, Deadpool spoilers in 3, 2, 1. Spoil away.
Yes. I managed to go into the movie without seeing any trailers or commercials or anything.
I only saw the first trailer. That was the only thing I'd ever seen for this movie.
So I was like very pleasantly surprised. I mean, I did know that Cable was in it, but I'd forgotten because I hadn't really thought about the movie at all.
I knew that much.
Yeah.
I knew it, but I didn't. I knew it as when they mentioned it in the movie. I was like, oh yeah, Cable. But that guy did a great job as Cable, I thought.
Josh Brolin.
Yeah, he was really. I thought he was really. He reminded me of the cartoon.
He was also
Cable.
Thanos in Infinity War.
He did a good job as Thanos too, and I really like Domino.
Mm-hmm.
She did a good job as Domino.
Mm-hmm.
That whole sequence, the whole X-Force sequence was amazing.
Oh, okay, that one. I was wondering which sequence you're talking about because I was thinking you were talking about the fight sequence that Domino had.
That's cool too.
That one was a good one as well.
Well, I was telling Ty about the movie, and I was like, "Oh, do you know who Domino is?" And he didn't know Domino, and I was like, "Oh, her." And he's like, "Well, what's her power?" And I was like, "Oh, it's she's really lucky." And he's like, "Well, that's not much of a power." And I was like, "Oh, they do this whole thing in the movie where Deadpool's ragging on her for having a lame power, while you see all the lucky stuff happen to her, and she kicks ass."
Isn't
that was
that also Longshot's superpower?
Yes, I believe.
Okay, well, because they bring up the Mojoverse in this movie, and I'm like, so Longshot and Domino exist, and now, I mean, they're officially exist in the same plane, and they both have the same superpower. I just thought that was interesting.
Were those other characters in the X-Force real comic book guys?
Yeah.
Shatterstar?
Mm-hmm. Shatterstar is from the Mojoverse.
I heard of him. He's been around for a while. Right?
Yeah. I was surprised they killed them off so quickly, but also not.
No. I think that's the beauty of the Deadpool. Like, they can just get all these characters that really have no business being in a movie whatsoever.
No. The other two were, you could tell that they, a lot of people thought, oh, is that going to be G.W. Bridge, the Terry Crews character? Is that G.W. Bridge? Is that going to be Bishop? And like, no, because they wouldn't kill those two characters off in 15 minutes.
Right, but Bedlam, yeah.
Bedlam you could kill off in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I was surprised by Juggernaut. That was the one that I was not expecting.
Oh, I had no idea. Yeah, that was awesome. That was a good spoiler that was not ruined for me, was seeing Juggernaut, and he was so good.
Except how come he had his helmet on? How did he get his helmet?
Because it's Juggernaut.
But they wouldn't keep him in the jail cell with the helmet on.
Sure, why not? Because they can't take it off.
Okay.
He's not a mutant, so those collars wouldn't work on him.
Right, he's touched the rock.
Yeah, the Ruby of Sidorak.
Yeah, and Black Tom is in the movie.
And Black Tom is in the movie. Look at you with your X-Men knowledge.
I have the comic where Juggernaut shares the Ruby with Black Tom, and Juggernaut gets smaller and Black Tom gets bigger. And then Spider-Man
best buds.
And Spider-Man and the X-Men it's a team up.
Yeah.
It's a great comic.
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool may even have mentioned it in the movie. He mentions that he loves Juggernaut, and he starts whipping out comic book reference names and numbers, right?
Yeah, there's a lot to be referenced in this movie.
Well, and also just a little Easter egg: the Juggernaut is voiced by Ryan Reynolds.
Okay.
Oh, was it? Because it said in the credits, it said by himself.
As himself, yeah.
Yeah, which is weird.
And there was also the Vanisher was played by Brad Pitt for about 4 seconds.
Yep.
I couldn't even tell who it was. It was so quick. I thought it was Harry Potter.
I saw it and I'm like, was that Brad Pitt?
Yeah, that's the reaction I had as well.
Yeah. And then there's also that scene where Cable comes back to our present day, and they're the two rednecks sitting on the truck, and one of them, the one that talks, is Matt Damon.
Yeah, that was weird. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and the other one is Alan Tudyk.
Alan Tudyk, yep, who doesn't say anything. But he was instantly recognizable. But
I didn't
Matt
pick
Damon
up
not as much.
either of them because I was too busy watching Cable in the background.
In the background?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought, I laughed so hard, like my legs were, I was, had one of those recliner seats, and like my legs were flying up in the air. I was laughing so hard.
But you cried when? At the beginning?
No, at the end.
When she dies and they're going back and forth.
Yeah, when he died,
Right.
when Deadpool is dying.
When they're
that
He's
scene,
visiting her.
when he goes into the afterlife,
and he's visiting
and she
her.
says it's not your time yet.
It's not your time yet.
I was thinking they were going to turn her into Death, like the character Death, before they brought her back to life at the very end, because in the comics, Deadpool is married to Death, and Thanos is as well, or Thanos,
Thanos.
However you pronounce that his name. It's one of those names that you've read for so long that you have it in your head one way, and then it's like,
that's funny.
oh, people are actually pronouncing this now.
Right, that's so funny.
But yeah, so who knows? And she's someone in the comics too. Like Vanessa becomes a character.
Sure. I just thought that they were going with a different twist on it.
Oh no, I get it. And again, so is everything that happened in that post-credit scene canon? Like, did they really bring her back at the end of the movie?
Yeah.
Or is that just supposed to be like a silly throwaway thing?
No, I would say that's canon.
Yeah.
He went back.
I don't know. I'm
rescued
asking.
Peter.
Yeah.
Peter, yep. Rob Delaney getting a second chance.
Peter. Yeah, they know how to make that movie, that Deadpool movie. That's for
because
sure.
the last time I checked, Green Lantern was still a thing. So, like, you can watch that movie still.
Oh,
so he didn't erase everything.
Well,
that was
I know,
funny.
it was a joke. It was a joke.
Yeah. Well, that was the scene after that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's when you go back and you think about an Adam Sandler comedy compared to like the writing in this, like, how many passes at this script do you think there were?
Oh my God, 1 million.
Yeah.
You think so? You think there were 1 million passes
Yes.
on
There's
this?
so many jokes and so many references. I missed probably half of them.
There's only 3 credited writers who wrote the movie together because they all have the ampersand.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you can tell the difference, in case you didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is it? I forget their names, and Ryan Reynolds. The 2 guys and Ryan Reynolds clearly wrote this movie together. They're the only ones with the credit. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure there were lots of rewrites, and they also went through a director in this movie. The director of the first movie was let go due to creative differences. So Ryan Reynolds clearly had a vision for this.
There's a lot of writing in this movie.
Yeah, I know. I think it was probably fewer drafts than you think.
I'm just there's a lot of effort, maximum effort. That's the point. Maximum effort. Like they didn't cheap out. Like they just nonstop jokes in the fucking movie, and they're funny.
Most of them are. I mean, not everyone's gonna hit.
The baby leg scene was pretty crazy.
Right? Yeah, it was pretty gross and funny.
That was funny. You saw his.
I didn't even like. I feel like this one is less gross than the first one. Am I wrong?
I think it really only has like that scene. The wood chipper scene is probably the only really gross moment.
I know it's super violent,
but it's not as gory as the last one.
I was trying to think, like, if Ty saw this movie, would it like mess him up? And
there's also a guy who loses his head when a cabinet falls on it because he's laying against.
There's quite a few people that lose their heads.
Yes, movie. But it's so cartoony. The whole movie is.
It is very cartoony. I mean, again, you've mentioned before that Ty doesn't handle that stuff that well.
Well, the cartoony stuff is fine. Like, there's not a lot of sex.
I don't know. I'm
not looking for excuses to show the movie. I was just thinking about, like, I felt like there was a lot of more sex stuff in the first one.
Movie.
No, of course not. What did I just say?
This movie has less sex.
But there were kids who got turned away at my showing.
Good.
They had their tickets, and the guy was like, nope, and like grandma was there with them. Or somebody like was trying to drop them off to see the movie, and the guy was like, no. Anything else we need to say about Deadpool 2? I mean, obviously they're going to make another one.
I really liked it.
They're going to make X-Force is the next one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the amazing thing. Like, I came away, I'm like, Domino. Wow, they've actually made another cinematic universe.
So is this who's in that X-Force? Is it Colossus and what's her face and Domino and Cable?
Yes, and
the Japanese girl.
I would guess Warhead, whatever, super negative Warhead, whatever her name is.
Yeah, super negative Warhead.
Yeah, whatever her name is.
Super negative Warhead is her name.
And Yukio, right? I would guess it would be those.
Hello, Wade.
Yeah.
That was good.
And then, yeah,
and they'll throw in someone else.
Yeah, well, they'll throw in plenty of characters because that's what they do.
Yeah, X-Force can have a lot of people.
Right. And a lot of ones that have just no business being in movies.
Yep.
It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, great. We did
it's
it.
Late. Wow, it's
late.
after 11.
Whew. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Bread's done.
In every family, there's one person who drives you a little crazy.
I gotta pick Jill up at 4 a.m.
She comes once a year and she's leaving on Sunday.
But during the holidays,
Jack, no fighting this year.
there's no escaping it when it's your sister.
How we doing?
Your twin sister.
Are you going bald?
Huh?
No. You're getting fatter, and your hair doesn't realize it needs to cover more face.
Okay.
From the producers of Just Go With It and Grown Ups.
You and Jill are so alike.
We are nothing alike, I promise you.
She isn't subtle.
Jill, this is Otto.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
He's homeless, right? Are you whispering with a bullhorn or something? Everybody hears you.
She isn't shy.
I put a little list together of things I want to do before I leave.
Studio tour, beach, horseback riding.
Let's go! Oh my God! Maybe I should stay out through Hanukkah.
And she isn't leaving.
She's forwarding her mail to us now.
What's this about a twin? Oh, Jackie has a twin sister.
Identical or fraternal?
Nocturnal, like a bat.
This fall,
Seriously, honey? Can't you try a little harder? She's your sister. Guess who is taking you to the Lakers game?
Finally, some twin time.
Compliments of Mr. Pacino.
What's this? This is insane, man. You gotta call him. Oh, will you stop already? You know all he wants to do is play Twister with your sister.
Daddy, you know how to jump rope?
We were the Double Dutch Kings.
is forever.
I crave this. Family time.
Please don't destroy my pool.
Adam Sandler is.
Your sister and I grew up on the same streets. When I look at her, I see me.
When I look at her, I see me too.
Jack and Jill.
Do you and Daddy have twin powers?
Some twins can feel when the other one's hurt.
I didn't feel it. A little harder.
No, Jill, stop it. He's kidding.
What? Oh!
Hear that, Daddy?
I actually did feel something there. Pride in my son.